Siri, what's the definition of black? Welcome to Loose Leaf. We are drinking wine today.
Hey, did I tell you Happy Black History Month yet?
No, dude.
Wow, fuck me.
No, you actually did.
Okay, good. Well, I'm gonna say it again. Happy Black History Month.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, let's learn and how about I learn and grow tonight?
To all of our 4 subscribers, I just wanted to give you a shout out.
To the people that have contributed 19 cents in the honor of our sponsors.
And we just want to say thanks.
Thanks,
for
yeah.
tuning in once again. Episode 2.
Episode 2.
Breaking the Stigma of Black.
Meanwhile, let's get...
As Black History Month comes to an end, I just really want to remind everyone that it's not just a month for us, it's every day. I've really been painfully self-aware of my interactions and relationships in every scenario that I have in every moment of every day, because I am choosing to address these issues that affect me very vividly and intentionally every day. It was never going to be an easy thing when Chloe and I wanted to start this podcast.
Letting people see Black people in a good light, because we are good people. We have so much talent. We have so much versatility. Like, it's amazing. But people never get to see all that, and then they get upset when we want to have
An opportunity.
Because it was to address healing through our artwork together and have these uncomfortable conversations together.
This is not even about you. And
No,
every chance you
yeah.
get, you make it about you, and it's like, that's just let us have these things,
Right.
Because we never got to have them.
Exactly.
We never did.
Yeah.
No one ever gave us the space and gave us the chance and gave us the opportunity. So again, you have that bar graph of like, how do you what's the action? What do you do to change it? Well, you step back.
Because they were difficult to have by ourselves. And throughout this month has been a lot of self-reflection for me and how I see myself.
I never give myself credit for anything I do. I could do so much. I did all that shit last summer, like amazing, and still I'm sitting here like I don't ever award myself. And why? There's literally something in my DNA that just nicks, and
I mean, that's like the ancestral trauma.
Yeah, it really is. I think it stems from that. It's like, why?
Because that can't happen in one lifetime. You know, that's
and it's
up.
like, why can't I give myself credit? Why can't I award myself? Why don't I feel accomplished? There's no reason why I shouldn't feel that way.
Right.
As a biracial woman, and what that looks like in my relationships, and really just like reflecting on all of that and how much pain that it's brought up for me.
The two sides are learning how to understand each other.
Can you describe like each side more?
Yeah, like what about it though?
Like how would you?
How I
like how are they
activate?
different?
Like
And how they
other people, or
I don't know. Like what does
like
that mean to you? What does each one mean to you? I guess.
yeah. Let me think about it.
I mean,
for a
yeah.
little
Sit
bit.
on that for a minute, and if you don't want to answer it, you don't have to. I just.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't have to include everything. So I don't want to say something offensive either.
I guess.
You know, like honestly, like as like a light-skinned person, I don't want to be offensive.
Yeah.
Either, ever, which is
But
wild.
that's
I think that's kind of the part.
I mean, it has to be tiring because how many times have you had this discussion?
Yeah, it's like I definitely feel a sense of discouragement, like as we try to like figure out how to navigate the topics we want to talk about, specifically for Black History Month. I'm like getting them to be effective.
Because everything we're talking about, everyone has already heard. Yeah, how do you make it so that people look at it in a different way that they can relate to? When I've never faced discrimination in a world built for my skin color.
I think it's just a sense of like you don't really feel like you can change anything.
And just self-hate and discouragement I've put on myself, and weight and guilt that comes with the stigma.
I went out to my car and there was like a few kids playing basketball or something, and I just like had this feeling in myself like, oh, I need to like go to my car quickly and like shut the door and like kind of just like this anxiety. And like as soon as I thought that, I was like, wait, why am I thinking that? Like, because they look a certain way. Like, that's really fucked up.
Yeah,
like
it is.
Why would I'm Black? Why would I even be thinking that? And like that just really like I just remember that instant so vividly.
I bet.
And I just really had to check myself and be like, why are you thinking this? What's making you think this, and like where did you learn that? And then I think that so naturally I had this response like that I didn't even know I was, you just have automatic responses.
It's so subconscious.
And reactions, subconscious responses that's like invoking fear or anxiety or like paranoia, right? Just because of
and your body reacts to that then.
How something looks. I mean, they say that with like if you're gonna paint a room red, like it's gonna have
I mean, that's
a feeling
100%.
of like how that reacts, your body reacts to that, and how you'll be more productive or less productive or this way or that way. And so with the same thing, or if it's like a shirt color someone's wearing, well, like just as so, like our skin, they found a way to do that with that too.
Yeah, exactly.
So we can have negative reactions around people that are darker.
Without even realizing it, and then to say that you don't or you won't naturally is just insulting, you know, because you can't be better if you don't recognize that.
It's our duty as an evolving people and generation to continue to break the stigma and realize the negative stigma that comes with Black and Blackness.
So what's the definition term? What's the definition of Black? What is the?
It's not fucking funny.
No, I know. It's just like I can't word it correctly. What is the? That's what the word I was looking for. What is the dictionary definition for the word?
As an adjective, it means of the very darkest color onto the absence of or complete absorption of light, the opposite of white. Do you want to hear the next one?
Yes, bitch.
As an adjective, it means of any human group having dark-colored skin, especially of African or Australian Aboriginal ancestry.
Oh, really?
Want to hear one more?
Sure.
As an adjective, it means of a period of time or situation characterized by tragic or disastrous events causing despair and pessimism.
Like the Black
Want
Plague.
to hear the next one?
Yeah. Tell me more.
As a noun, it means black color or pigment. Want to hear one more?
Yes. Yeah.
As a noun, it means a member of a dark-skinned people, especially one of African or Australian Aboriginal ancestry. Want to hear one more?
Oh my God, how many are there?
Yeah.
As a noun, it means the situation of not owing money to a bank or of making a profit in a business operation.
It's our duty to realize when we've been taught something completely wrong.
You chose not to say was full of gloom or misery, very depressed, presenting tragic or harrowing situations, full of anger or hatred, very evil or wicked.
It reminded me of, any classic good versus evil movie like Harry Potter or Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or Narnia or whatever, where it's like the Dark Lord or there are dark forces.
Yeah, you're like the Dark Lord, or I think we talked about like blackmail too,
or Black Friday, or even how she said it was
cheaper.
Yeah, like a negative time in history, like the Black Plague.
Yeah, characterized by tragic or disastrous. So like clearly, what we're trying to say here is the definition as it is in our language. The word black really means bad and evil. And it has always...
I mean, that's the rhetoric that's how they're trying to...
Yeah, that's how it was written in.
Yeah.
For it to mean. And then connecting that with someone's skin color, well, obviously that's going to carry some of that weight along with it.
Like, yeah. I mean, whether someone intends to or not, but if it's written in the culture, in the dictionary, then naturally...
Because everything in the dictionary is real.
Everything. Every single thing.
Siri, can you define white?
As an adjective, it means a color of milk or fresh snow due to the reflection of most wavelengths of visible light, the opposite of black. Do you want to hear the next one?
Yes. Can I hear them all?
As an adjective, it means belonging to or denoting a human group having light-colored skin, chiefly used of peoples of European extraction. This is a historical term counter-evolutionary or reactionary. As a noun, it means white color or pigment, the visible pale part of the eyeball around the iris, the outer part, white when cooked, which surrounds the yolk of an egg, the albumen. A member of a light-skinned people, especially one of European extraction. A white or cream butterfly that has dark veins or spots on the wings. It can be a serious crop pest. And this is an archaic term. As a verb, it means
it can be a
paint or turn
serious
something
crop
white.
That's it. Well.
And it's our duty to fill in the blanks for the portions that were left out.
I don't know. I feel like white, pearly whites, crystal white, you know, like glistening snow, clean.
Well, that wasn't
fresh,
the answer we were
pure.
looking for.
I mean, no, but it kind of is. I mean, it just emphasizes
yeah.
purity. I mean, think about the bride and groom.
Yeah.
The bride's in a white gown, seen as pure.
You wear black when you go to a funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah, white, it often comes with, it goes with the innocent, the pure, the clean.
The light, I mean, you think about biblical images, or especially in Christianity, like wipe the slate clean, you know, and they shed blood for that, you know, like over evil, dark forces. I don't know, I think that it's just written to be,
again, like in the
language. It's systemic oppression, just like rooted in history for like hundreds of years.
Rooted in the way we talk.
In so many ways we don't even realize.
Right, and then that goes into the way you think of yourself, the way you think of
subconsciously
other people. So it makes sense then when you are associating white people with the term white, and black or darker people with the term black, that these sort of words and feelings.
And even if you don't consciously be like, oh, I won't view it as like dark, even, but that's the thing. It's, you don't realize it just because it's so ingrained, and that's why also I feel like this concept could be so foreign to some people, because it's just to critically think about things that are just so simple as black and white.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
It is. It's like new. I mean, at least it was to me even when we first talked about it.
That's when you start like getting to the root of something. Where you're like, well, why did someone ever think it was okay to oppress like someone who looks different than us?
Expanding your empathy and really realizing how the stigma can fully impact someone's mental and emotional states is key. Where I felt like I quite literally had to change parts of myself to adapt.
Like it's something you don't really think about much, but so often in high school, I just would try to like adapt and like assimilate to looking how my other friends did and doing things to my hair that I like that my hair didn't do. Like it wasn't straight.
Yeah.
And like and now, like, I just, like, it's a process, too. Like, I'm definitely not all the way there yet, but I can tell you I haven't straightened my hair.
I watched this documentary
like
last
over
night.
A year.
And they were saying, it was an interesting quote, because it was about black hair, and it was like, I just haven't finished it yet, but it was like, every black woman you talk to or see anywhere has either had their hair relaxed or is getting it relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was really interesting, because
mm-hmm.
I remember when you and I were in high school and I asked you about it, and I mean, you told me about it a little bit, but I just never understood.
Mm-hmm.
And even now, when we've gotten closer, we've had some conversations, but it's also led to conversations where you feel uncomfortable, and like I learned that it's not okay for me to ask you, because it's not your responsibility to teach me. And I also recognize that, but I didn't even necessarily consider it, because it's just hair.
Yeah.
To me, it's just like, oh, it's hair, and I know nothing about any hair. Like, I'm my own. Like, I'm always coming to you about questions about my hair.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you are black, I need to be more sensitive. I had to learn that, too.
Yeah, it's almost like when you're, like, talking to a woman and you have to be like, oh, da-da-da, about your period or something.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, that's, like, kind of sensitive for me, so, like...
Yeah. Like, not... Yeah.
Yeah, I feel, like, very similar with my hair stuff, because, like, you have to know, like... So, like, if people don't know what relaxing your hair is, like, it's not just straightening your hair. It's, like, quite literally taking, like, a chemical, like, it looks like hair dye. And I got this done when I was 4th grade. I don't know how old I was then, like 13 or something. First. And they put it on your roots and, like, all over your hair. But, like, different from hair dye, this shit, like, burns your hair. Like, it burns because it's quite literally straightening your every hair follicle that's in your hair. And then they take a comb, so they run it all through, but first they put, like, Vaseline all around your skin.
It looks like a
protect
mousse,
it.
right? Like a mousse that's, like, combed back.
Yeah, and then they brush all the cream through your hair, which they have to work fast, and because it starts, like, reacting so quickly. And then they have to comb it through, like, literally forcing the hair to be straight. They comb it all through. At that point, you're, like, pretty much in tears, because it already, like, your head is lit, like when your skin is burned by something, like, it feels like that.
Right.
And it's a chemical burn. And then I remember just, like, so many times, because, you know, I'm just, like, a quiet person, I would just sit there and fucking, like, just, like, take it. And I, like, all I had to do was just be like, oh, I'm done. But, like, I would just sit there because now that I think, I didn't want it to not work. I wanted it to get straighter. So I knew if I sat there longer, it would work
better. Yeah, that's
right.
So sad.
Yeah, and then even when they're washing it out, and, you know, that's usually, like, a therapeutic thing. Oh my gosh, your head's so sensitive at that point. It just, like,
so
hurts.
People. They're, like, rubbing into your skin.
Oh my gosh. And then after that, like, whatever, my hair's beautiful, it's the way I want it. It's all straight and flowy. Everyone's like, wow, your hair looks so good, blah, blah, blah. It feels lighter on me. I feel prettier. Like, after that, the next week, I had, like, scabs. I remember one time, the biggest one I had was probably a couple inches long, like, on my head. And, like, it was just, like, it was terrible. Like, all over my head, I would just have scabs. And, like, would even, like, lose hair in some spots. And it's just, like, and I did that, up until, like, senior year. Yeah. And then it got to the point where it just, like, I was just like, why am I doing this to myself?
Yeah.
My hair didn't grow either. I was always trying to grow it out, because that was a thing too. People would always, I've heard people say that before, they're like, oh, like, why do black girls always have short hair? And it's just like, well, because we straighten it. Like, people would actually say that to you, and, like, I was like, oh, because, like, you, like, straighten it all the time, that it, like, stunts the follicle growth. Like, it never grows, so it was always the same length. And then even then, I would, like, want to wear it curly, like, sometimes. So it wasn't, like, I have my natural curl now, But it would basically, it wouldn't make it straight when I got it wet, but it would make it like wavy.
Yeah.
But even then, it was so unhealthy. I couldn't even wear it like that.
Yeah. I mean, just to like put it in perspective too. I mean, there's nothing parallel for like a white person to try to get their hair like a black person. You know, just to like.
No, we're not gonna do that.
Right. I know, but that's crazy to me.
But I think I have to remember to not blame myself for that, because I need not know better than a system that brainwashed me into not even being able to look clearly at this half of myself, to look at it in an obscured way where I was unable to identify with that part of myself.
Ooh, mind control and all this crazy, outrageous stuff, but like, we're all fucking brainwashed. Like, at the end of the day, because you grew up seeing black people as criminals on TV, you heard rap music was bad. Yeah. You were told that black people have kinky, untanked, like, you can't. We have our own section for hair products. I went to so many different salons because they literally didn't know how to do my hair. Like, I would walk out.
Yeah, I believe it.
Looking like a little poodle puffball because they couldn't tame my hair.
That's so negative.
I mean, they literally were never taught how to do my hair. In hair school. Like, that's in itself is so racist.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if you're in hair school and you don't know how to do my kind of hair, then you should probably teach yourself if they're not teaching you, because that's messed up. I shouldn't have to go to, like, a black hair salon to get my hair done. I, to this day, don't even go to the hair salon because I don't trust anyone to do my hair.
Yeah,
I just do it myself.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's difficult to not hold that blame internally and to release it and let go, but you really have to, or it divides you from the inside out and from the outside back in your relationships, in your workplace, in your friendships, in your mind. It's truly a force of evil energy to find any place to divide the consciousness within ourselves and within the whole. And this energy is able to use our skin color as a means of doing that.
Yeah, there's definitely a spectrum. And I watched, like, a YouTube video where someone, like, actually asked, like, a bunch of light-skinned people or, like, mixed people about that. And, like, if they feel any sort of way around, like, people that have darker skin than you. And, like, I felt so firm because they were all like, oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And, like, for me, growing up, it was definitely, like, me around, like, darker-skinned girls. I got this, and maybe I was just, like, assuming, but, like, I definitely got this feeling that they didn't like me. And, like, I mean, I never really had friends that, like, girlfriends that were, like, darker skinned than me.
Yeah.
For my personal experience, it seemed that they looked at me in a way that was like, oh, she thinks she's better than us, like, she has a white mama, like, she's got it together, blah, blah, blah. And in reality, like, that's so not true. I'm just speaking on the other side of it.
Yeah.
But I really have a hard time attaching myself to, like, the white side or the black side because I don't feel like I fit in with either.
Yeah.
So then it's just like, yeah, you're, like, super outcast.
That sounds so alienating.
Yeah.
I think there's a point you can go about continuing to act like it doesn't bother you, or continuing to act like these sort of things never affected you. And I think that I did that for a good 22 years. And that's completely my white privilege speaking. I just encourage you to continue to reflect internally, continue to have conversations about race that make you uncomfortable, and question yourself and question things that you've always believed. It can only make us more self-aware, and that reflects in our community and society as a whole. It creates a ripple effect of empathy, and at the end of the day, all we're asking for is empathy to share and love one another.
Like, are you still learning to, like, love that part of you, I guess?
Yeah, I think that with that, you just have to, like, get past that detail. And I mean, now I've never really had girlfriends that looked like me until like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
In all honesty, like, never really did. Just all my girlfriends are always white.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that building that bridge is important for me, and I think it's taught me a lot about myself and just how I look at myself, because I, like, feel affirmed by them. It's just,
Yeah, of course. Well, I think that goes back to, like, and it's not like you have anyone to talk about it because you're in a white city. And, yeah, that'd be really hard to navigate.
Having more friends around me that are similar to me in that way, like, I can really hone into my culture and, like, the way I do my hair, the way I dress, and I think I've been really proud of that lately and having a lot of fun with that.
It's also pushed me to ask myself more questions and reach out to, my family, my father, and really listen to the stories he has to share, about being a Black American. And I encourage you, if you have those connections still, to reach out to those friends and families that are able to connect with you on that level.
It's cool once you, like, take that second to, like,
Kind of like
wake
more.
up. I shaved it all off. I had my cousin shave it off.
That'd be so free.
She owns a hair salon now, and, like, I was just like, you know what, fuck it. I, like, had just got out of a breakup. I was like, got nothing to lose. Did the big chop. My hair was probably like half an inch long.
See, you pull it off so well. Like,
Yeah, I did that twice now.
so cool.
I'm growing it out again
So
now,
cool.
but R&B and soul and all of that is culture we created, and
Motown.
and yeah, and that's like what Black culture, specifically music, just because I grew up on so much like jazz and stuff too. Our food is such a strong aspect too, and I know just the stuff like my grandma cooks, and like collard greens and cornbread,
Like
and
the
mac
southern
and
food,
cheese.
too, yeah.
Yeah, like that's so strong for our culture, and obviously like into the way we do our hair, because our hair is so distinct and different in the most beautiful way.
Yeah.
Where do you learn that from? Where does it come from? I mean, yeah, definitely just like media and how people are portrayed as. I mean, even just think of like the Hurricane Katrina disaster, and how people had to stay in that arena, and there was all the looting, and people were just like, it's just being depicted as like savages, and it's like they had no choice. Why is one person, they go into the store, it's called looting, and then the next person they go in the store, it's called,
I mean,
like,
that's like BLM and
like
riots.
grabbing food for survival.
Yeah.
Like, they're both the same person.
I mean, it's like what we saw at the Capitol with the riots.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
the fact that they could enter,
Right.
get that far, and then, you know, the response they had over the summer with all those guards just for BLM. It's
like, okay, what do you do about
right.
it? How can you change it? And I think that's definitely just including more positive pictures and media and material of Black people and awarding them for things they've done, awarding them for businesses they've started. Black people have been depicted for so long, like it's just still that way. It's in a negative light, and see more people in media that look like me. This makes me think of, especially because I just put it on Disney Plus, the Cinderella movie, and it literally has Cinderella is Brandy, or Brandy is Cinderella.
Yeah. It's gonna make me so nostalgic.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like not looking forward to it. It's gonna make me so sad. Oh my god.
We should.
We can't watch it for sure.
We never got the choice to be Black.
Right.
And you're asking, like, what makes it so hard for you when it's like you're born into a system that was never created for your success. Is that the right word? Yeah.
For your, with you in mind.
It wasn't created for your benefit. Ever. And then you're expecting people who were never given the boots to get off their bootstraps. So just try a little bit harder. Just make a little more money. Just do this. Like, it's so easy. And it's like, but you're expecting people when they were never given any resources. I think, like, especially with these sort of talks, we hope to just, like, help people realize that separation isn't so far apart. And it's, like, something that we're very much still dealing with.
Yeah.
And trying to, like, reimagine these just simple words like Black and white.
Yeah, really breaking it down to the raw context. And also just to raise questions within ourselves. It's okay to question yourself and recognize, like, as a white person, be like, I have these discriminatory thoughts. Because you're not going to get better unless you recognize those parts. And
that you might not even know.
You don't know, yeah. And, like, kind of like what I talked about earlier in the other episode, it's a problem when you know and then you don't do anything about it.
Don't expect your Black friends to teach you. And be thankful when
they create the space.
They do, are able to create the space and have the patience, because, like, it's your responsibility to learn and educate for yourself. And, like, I'm saying that for myself too, about, like, other cultures too. It's my responsibility to learn all I can and know, so I'm not offensive to other people. And that might seem like a task to you, but you should do it because it's love.
I mean, it's a task to you when it's just someone else's everyday life. So if you really are the ally if you really want to be the ally you're trying to be, you have to recognize
people
that.
Don't want to be allies, though.
Oh, it's true. Why wouldn't you, though?
Because they don't care. Because it doesn't affect their day.
Yeah.
There's people that don't care. It does, the ignorance. They don't. There's no part of their day it affects. If it doesn't affect you, should you care? We literally had a white supremacist paint a sign that said Black Lives Matter. So if that's anything for you, we had several just, like, white people painting portraits of, like, little Black girls, and I'm just, like, so, like,
yeah, it's like,
I just have nothing to say. It's like how about, like, you don't go to Asian Pacific Festival and do your thing for them. Bro, like, you don't go to a powwow and start doing your thing.
Yeah.
how about you just honor and celebrate us, like, from afar, and give us the pedestal, and then we'll step up on it. Yeah. Don't give the pedestal and then be like, okay, like, I'm gonna step on it too.
Like, it was party for all of us, right? Because I gave you the pedestal.
Yeah.
As I make a podcast with you about this.
She's so hard to listen to, hearing her push back and forth between what she is and isn't allowed to say, or who she's allowed to be. There's no picture book about her. You see this through her words, sharing stories that she was never told, fractured and torn, unsure. She doesn't even feel like she has the right to be mad about any of it. She doesn't feel she can fully claim either side. Because she's not really black. She's too white. She talks white, but her dad's black. But she has a white mama. She's an Oreo, you know. She wasn't even upset, was she? Brainwashed to the point water was poison. Her blackness never offended her until it did. And she heard mumbles of her friends say nigger, burnt hair, over toast, and melanin. They play her culture's music, live in houses her ancestors built, with heavy cotton poise, injected lips and ass. A mockery of the skin born of the fountain of life. She's the epicenter of the universe. She is scared. A comet burrowed deep in her womb, heaving to escape. Did she care?
I kind of just want to talk about, like, how great and awesome and versatile and beautiful, like, black people are.
She slowly develops into comfortable and quickly draws back, takes back, overthinks everything. As ocean ebb and flow, she wades, waiting to see shore, tossing against wave and blow. When she realizes it's not home, piercing tears between cornrows, how to embrace a home she never knew. Dear black woman, body browned sugar and raw honey, every time you speak, you resurrect your ancestors from the grave. Lift your shoulders and turn your head to mirror me. I see you. It probably won't work on here. It needs to be real crystal. Yeah.
Really?
It won't work on this.
Be
it
funny.
don't seem to. It actually works with the real glass.
That was the class?
No, it wasn't. Listen really close.
Okay, I'm listening. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
That's actually my ringtone.
The wine is a great therapist.
It is. This is who I talk to every Thursday.
I'm drinking a white wine. Do you think that white wine is superior to red wine because it's lighter? 'Cause I do.